all of you for being here, for taking the time to come in and stand by and with the family and to honor and to rejoice in Billy's memory, his life. My name is Chuck Allers. I'm a pastor at San Diego Branch Church up the hill in Claremont, and I was a pastor where both Adam and Billy had connection in Horizon Christian Fellowship. I was there for 23 years, so I'm just so sorry for the situation. I don't really have words to convey the depth of sorrow for myself, and I think I can speak for all of us of what's taken place. And so to come all the way back around, I want to say thank you to all of you for your willingness to come and honor Billy and his family. So what we're going to do this morning is I'd like to read Psalm 23 just to kind of set the pace. But after that, the family is going to come up and share memories firstly, but at their request, what they would like is if anybody would like to come up and share a memory of Billy, a reflection, something that is tucked in your heart that you'd like to share with us, that would be entirely appropriate. I know there's a lot of us, and I'm sure there are a lot of stories which can be told. So if you do come, if you could just mind the time, as we want to be respectful to everybody in the room this morning. But let me read Psalm 23 and pray, and then Billy's dad's going to start. Psalm 23 says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Let me pray. Lord, we thank you that you are the God of all comfort. Thank you for the very fact that you weep today with us over what's taken place. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for the nature and character of who you are as one of light and truth and mercy and compassion and kindness. Truly, you are a good Father. And we want to celebrate a good Father this morning in Billy. We want to remember him. Help us as individuals today to look out for one another as the days progress. Help us to be mindful of our feelings and the feelings of others around us, particularly the family. And may this be a place, Lord, where we can begin to push the hurt and the pain to the side and reflect on those things which are lovely and are pure and of good report in this man's life. And so we commit this time to you and thank you that you are merciful, you are gracious, you are kind, and your heart breaks this morning with all of us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Doug?
I just want everybody to rest assured that there's a very nice lady who's had plenty of time to find her way around and has welcomed her boys with open arms, and she's going to take good care of them. And hopefully the rest of this service will be friends talking about much more pleasant and brighter things. But they're in a place where the demons are gone and they're with somebody who loves them very much.
So, thank you all for coming. For those that don't know me, I'm Bill's brother. And the recovering minister in me can't help but reflect on the author of Ecclesiastes, who said that there's a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to sow and a time to reap, a time to rejoice and a time to mourn. And in our church, we believe that a service like this is both for us to mourn what we've all lost and also to rejoice in the lives of the amazing men that we've lost together. It's no secret, I don't think, that my brother and I didn't always get along. We loved each other in our own way. And the conventional wisdom in our family and amongst close friends was always that Bill was more like our mom, and I was more like my dad. And to some extent that's true, but by example, if nothing else, our father instilled two things in both my brother and I. One is to have a strong set of beliefs in who we are, and the other is to live by those beliefs. And I didn't always agree with Billy, but I always admired the fact that he lived the way that he believed. And I think the fact that there's so many people here today who knew him and loved him is a testament to that life and the amazing person that he was in his own way. We had a service this morning for my nephew, and we wanted to leave the bulk of that service for Lindsay and her family and the astonishing loss that they've been forced to cope with. I have a couple of short stories about Adam because he was such an important part of Billy's life as well. He was an amazing young man. One of the things that I admired about my brother was that he fought so hard for custody of Adam and Lindsay. We talked earlier, I know how much Adam appreciated having you back in his life, and I respect the decisions that you and Bill made so long ago, and that Adam was such an amazing little boy and such an amazing young man. So many stories we could tell about him, but one of my favorites was Dad at Christmas bought a gift for Adam, some Nerf guns, and my daughter was probably 6 or 7 at the time, and the kids were playing with them and having a great time. And long after Adam was tired of playing with them, he kept playing with my daughter because she was having so much fun. And that's the kind of boy that he was. We had some holiday gathering at my mom's house, and things weren't going well, unfortunately, and there were some technical problems it's not worth going into, but my mom was a little upset. And Adam came to me, and he looked very confused, and he said, "Uncle Doug, why is Grandma so sad?" And I sort of laughed, and I said, "Well, buddy, here's the problem. Grandma doesn't think that we're all having fun today at her party. So here's what you can do to fix it. You go up and you give her a big hug, and you tell her that you're just having the best time today, and that will help her feel better." And sure enough, his face brightened up, and he ran right over into the kitchen, gave Mom a big hug, and told her how much fun she was having. And I was in the other room, but from all the way in the other room, I could hear my mother burst into tears and tell him thank you so much. And that really helped ease the mood of the day. And all because Adam was the type of little boy that couldn't stand to see anybody not having a good time. And that's just the kind of person that he was. And like I said, I share that story both to rejoice in Adam's life, but also because that's the boy, that's the man that my brother raised. And when our mother passed away, I'm very happy to say that he and I were able to come together and work together as a family and help my mother as we could when she was alive, and come together and deal with what needed to be dealt with after she passed. And we were able to talk and tell one another how we felt about each other. And like I said, we didn't always agree, and you don't have to, but we did love each other. And I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss Adam. And the hole that remains is something that I don't think we'll ever be able to fill. Two more things I'd like to share quickly. There's one more story about Adam. When my mother was in her last days, we were all together quite a bit at her house and at their house. And I asked Adam a question. I asked him if he understood what was happening, and he said he did. And I asked if he had any questions about it. And he said, "Yeah, Uncle Doug, I have a question. Why didn't Grandma stop smoking when Uncle Billy died?" That was the thing that he didn't understand. And I told him that sometimes people we love make mistakes. Sometimes they're even really bad mistakes. And that doesn't mean that we stop loving them. Sometimes it means that we have to love them that much more. And I think Adam took that to heart. And when it came time for our mother's service, it was held in a similar manner, and we asked if anybody wanted to speak, and Adam stood right up. And he said that he was sorry that his cousin, my daughter, was not going to be able to get to know Grandma the way that he did, because she was such an amazing grandma. And I think in many ways we're all in that situation, that both Bill and Adam were taken from us too soon, and that we all have a loss that is going to be difficult to live with. One last thing, and thank you, Lindsay and Aaron, for remembering that on our mother's side of the family, we have a tradition. Our grandmother was part Scottish, and they've brought the bagpiper here, which is a family tradition. And my understanding is that he's going to do Amazing Grace. And the words of that song are incredibly meaningful. There's a well-worn saying in theology that justice is getting what you deserve, mercy is not getting what you deserve, and grace is getting what you do not deserve. And I'd just like to share with you briefly the words of that song, and hopefully you can reflect on them when the piper's playing them. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, and now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for your amazing support of our family, and I hope that you all have other stories to share of Bill and Adam, whether it's here or amongst us later at the reception. Thank you very much.
Okay. It's really hard to talk about Billy without talking about Adam, because Adam was Billy's life. And the love that they had for each other should be, what people remember from this, is how much he loved that little boy. And we used to play pranks on Billy all the time. Adam would tie string to the door when Billy was taking a nap in his bedroom, and then we'd tie the other end to his bedpost so Billy couldn't open the door. And when Billy woke up and found out and tried to hop out the window, we'd stand there and spray chemicals or water at the windows so he couldn't get out. We had a lot of fun, just kind of pranking each other all the time. And the trips that Billy took with Adam, he went on every scouting trip with him because he wanted to have that memory. He took him on his field trips at school because he wanted to have that memory, you know, just try to remember the love that they had for each other in all of this, because that will go on forever. It's eternal.
I want to say thank you for everybody who's here. On behalf of all of our families, we appreciate you being here. There's two things that I will say about Billy. He had great taste in music, and and he had a heart of gold. He'd give you the shirt off his back and steal you another one if you needed it. He wouldn't ask twice. I've known him since I was 18 years old. He's the father of my son. And now they're gone, and I'm heartbroken. And I'm very grateful that he and Aaron were such good parents to my son when I was not. I could not have gotten through all of this without you guys. And the world is a little less brighter without the two of them here. And Billy would love to see all of you guys here. He really would.
Family, y'all would like to come up and share, please do. It's good for all of us.
So, I know Billy as a caretaker. He took care of me. He took me in high school when I didn't have a home, and gave me the roof to have when I didn't have anything. He gave me the support system. He was just a person that gave me motivation. I remember, like, he was just so mysterious. Like, he was just really, like, he had a lot that, like, was yet to be found out about him, and he would always, like, let it slip really slick, and he would just be thrown off. And I was like, I remember all the time, because at the time I was a junior, and so he was like, I didn't have a job either, so he was literally like, I have so much stuff I need you to do at the house. So like, in help with me standing there, like, he was also giving me like just things to do every day, and like, me and Adam would just get lost and just like cut me extra stuff unnecessary. We'd always be like, this is no point, but like, we get paid, so it was awesome. But like, it was more than that. It was just like, it wasn't about getting paid, it was just about the fact of having someone that really gave a shit, like someone really cared. And like, as much as he would make it seem like he was like rough and like had a lot of like nothing worried him and like everything was solved, he would let it be known he would like worry about you, and he would let it be known that he cared, and he would always do because all the time. That's how I'm always remembered.
Hi. I just wanted to echo the sentiment that Jordan expressed. I've known Billy since I was born. He's been friends with my mom and Lindsay and Aaron since they were all in high school. And the way that he loved Adam was the way that he loved Adam's friends. I always felt welcome, and he was always like a father to me. And he always made it abundantly clear if I needed anything, if Adam needed anything, if any of Adam's friends needed anything, he was always going to be there. And one of my fondest memories of him, it's something that I was even too young to be there for. It was one of those memories that you're told from the people around you. But apparently, like, me and Adam were just being bad little kids doing something. And he was like, our parents were hanging out, and he's like yelling, and he like was like, Kateria, Adam, and like was screaming for us to come in the house. And for years after that, everyone called me that, even though that's not my name. And Adam and I were always like, why do people call us? Why are people calling me that? And he's like, I don't know, it's something my dad made up. And I guess the most important thing, if I was just gonna like describe Billy to anyone, was just that he was 100% love. He was the funniest guy on earth. He didn't just love his friends, and he didn't just love Adam, and he didn't just love his family. He was like kind to animals. They had these 3 dogs that he like wanted to be the toughest guy in the room, and everyone's like, oh, Billy, like such a tough guy, but he would like snuggle up with Jill and little dog and Jack, and he was the biggest sweetheart on earth, and he loved all of you, and I know that it would mean a lot to him to know how many people cared about him and how many people loved him.
Hi, my name's Dina. I'm her mother. I met Billy when I was 13. I didn't grow up in Claremont. I grew up in Mission Hills and that side of town. But my grandmother lived in Claremont, and there was a family on the street over, the Giroux boys. There's like 6 of them, wild boys. And I was 13, and I went to live with my grandmother because I just didn't want to listen to my mom anymore, and that happens at 13. Little girls, get ready. So I was I had an uncle, and he hung out with the Giroux, and I met Billy. He was 18, I was 13, and he had a bullwhip. This guy was amazing with the bullwhip, and he was like, hey, you want to hang out? And I was like, I'm only 13. He's like, well, you don't look 13, and I was like, well, I am, and he's like, well, I said, if you want to hang out, we can be friends. All my friends were older, you know. I said, you got to meet my grandma first. And so he met my grandmother, and my grandmother loved him. And over the years, so when I was 18, I moved to Claremont, and that's when he met Lindsay, and we became friends. And any girlfriend or wife he had, I became best friends with, because Billy was one of my best friends. And we had a lot of the same struggles, and his mom was like a mom to me, and he was like a father to my daughter. And like I said before, my daughter lived with them for a while, not too long ago, and I'm so happy everybody's here, and you guys are all, he loved you all, and he spoke highly of you all, and especially the people that train. For a year straight, me and Billy emailed probably 15 times a day, talked on the phone every day. And I mean, I have pictures of all your job sites, and Billy loved train. I have pictures of boilers. I don't even know where they're at. I don't know what they do, but they're amazing. They're round, they're blue, they're square, they're green. They're I went on top of Donovan Prison, UCSD, Sharp Medical Center, everything. I mean, I feel like I could probably work at train and pull it off. And he really loved that company, and I love that you're all here for him and all his friends from high school and junior high. I've even seen a couple people from junior high here. And that just goes to show you what type of person Billy was. I mean, we've all had our rough patches in life, but deep inside he had a heart of gold. And I do have one funny story about him. Well, I have a lot, but he had a 63 Chrysler Imperial I don't know if you guys are familiar with those cars, but they have a push button transmission and they're like so fucking sick. And he got me to love old cars. And the first car I bought myself was a '65 Impala, and it was because of Billy. And he also, we were driving it up, we were going actually to Mikey DeRue's place up off Loring, going towards Upper PB, and the drivetrain went out. And he just said, "Hold on, girl, hold on." It was a wild ride. He also had these pockets. I mean, I started calling them pockets because he would take his pants pocket and he would unsew them, and then he would sew on this long cylinder of material. And I don't even know where he learned to sew, but he was amazing. And so I don't think he liked to have stuff, you know. And so they were like matching pants, and they put all sorts of stuff in there. He was about 25 then, yeah. And I'll never forget those pockets. And I think there's this jean company, JNCO. It's kind of like a Tagger kind of. They ended up making pants like that. And when I saw my son, who's now 26, I saw he had some pants like that, and I was like, Billy Barton, man. These are Billy Barton. pants. So I just have so many good stories about him, and I'm just really happy that you're all here supporting his family. Thank you.